See the problem as a teaching about the true nature of life. This is actually the last one. See the problem as a teaching about the true nature of life. So when you have a problem, you can go, what did I think? Did I think that somehow I would be living a life in which there never was problems? See, what did I think? Did I think that I somehow uniquely was going to be protected from problems? And the answer to that question, generally speaking, is what? See, well, no, the answer is yes, I did think that actually. And now, life is showing me what it's capable of, you see. And I have no protection against no unique kind of shit, pass, hall monitor pass from the principle that would give me some kind of exception to the problems that we all face. It's not just you who has irritating people in your life. Not just you who have flat tires. Not just you who loses your job, you see. We're all in the same boat here. And it's the Titanic. It's a suffering life. This kind of life is filled with problems. Isn't it? And see, and it's not just me, you see. So you use it as an opportunity to think about the facts of life. The facts of life is that things don't work out. This is Buddhism 101 for those of you who are Buddhists or claim to be Buddhist. That life is suffering, that life is problematic, that things go wrong, that we don't get what we want. Has that ever happened to you? That we do get what we don't want. That ever happened? And that we lose what we want to keep. And so, thank you, Samsara. Samsara is the Sanskrit name for the cyclical, problematic life, over and over and over again problems. Thank you, Samsara. I thought things were going well for a little while. I thought they were always going to go well for me somehow. See, they were going well for like at least 2 weeks now, and I thought that somehow that was just the way it was always going to be. And sometimes the teacher says Samsara is kind, and very kind. Every once in a while it comes up and slaps you upside the head and says, wake up, remember what kind of life is it. And the point is not to get fatalistic about that, but to recognize the facts of life, that things don't work out, that we have expectations that aren't fulfilled, that we lose things that we want to keep, that everything is changing. Everything is in the nature of change. Your health is, the economy is, your relationships are, and so forth. And to have little wake-up calls in the form of problems is very, very useful. To remember, I need to get serious about life and get prepared, get some tools, you see, get some preparation for the vicissitudes. You know that word? Vicissitudes, ups and downs. And not just be the victim, not just be the passive victim of the ups and downs of life, but to have some armaments, like in the Matrix when they go to meet the machines, remember the Matrix? And they just get all of these guns and rifles and submachine guns and everything. And we should have a spiritual arsenal. We need a spiritual arsenal to deal with the vicissitudes of life. And when those vicissitudes of life come up and smack you upside the head, you can say, thank you. Thank you for smacking me out of my complacency, out of my dream, out of my torpor, thinking it's okay now, see. There's only two situations in life. You're either in a disaster or you're between them. The people who are in a disaster, I don't really need to talk to about what disasters are like. Disasters are the wake-up calls. They're the wake-up calls. This is the kind of thing that could happen to me at any time. See, you realize that. The rug can be pulled out from underneath you at any time. You can lose your health, you can lose your relationship, you can lose your best friend, you can lose your lover, you can lose your car, you can lose anything. Because everything is impermanent, right? And then the wake-up call comes, a disaster. But there's people who are in between the disasters that we have to we have to pay attention. We have to get the clouds, the smoke from our eyes. And say, it's just a matter of time before the next one, you see? This is life. Life is filled with change, with change and with the facts of life include things like losing your health, getting old, and dying. And those are the facts. And if you just think, somehow, not preparing myself for the facts of life will will work out some, then the facts of life come and really beat you up. And so your job as a person who comes to yoga studios to listen to me talk, your job is to prepare yourself to help yourself through life in the only ways that you really can help yourself, which is through wisdom and love and compassion and the tools that the spiritual life offers. These are your protection. These are only protection. And your job is to protect yourself, to get armed and dangerous when it comes to the vicissitudes of life, so that you can help others. Somebody once raised their hand in a class and said, you're saying that death is part of life, right? Which I didn't say in this class, but I just said it. Death is part of life. You will lose your friends and your parents and your loved one by one as you go through life until you lose them all when you die. And that's just the facts of it. So raise your hand and say, is it, are you saying that we should just be happy about things like death? When I lose my mother or my father, should I just be happy about that? So of course not. But you should be prepared for it. So that when you go to the funeral or when you have the mourning period and all the rest of the relatives are going to pieces because they didn't come to the yoga studio and they didn't hear things like this and they didn't buy the book. When they're going to pieces, you can help them because you haven't gone to pieces. You're sad, you're unhappy. This is part of life. But you weren't a dunderhead. You weren't an airhead about life, thinking that somehow these things never happen, or at least they don't happen to me. Maybe they happen to other people. They will never happen to me. So you're prepared, and then you have the ability to be a helper instead of a helpee. At the funeral, at the mourning, to help others who didn't get prepared. And there are plenty of others like that, thick on the ground out here, thick on the ground, who have no preparation for the vicissitudes of life. And they're just subject. They're like, it's like being in the impact zone on a big day. This guy was out surfing today in the swell. And if you're in the impact, those of you who don't know, if you're in the impact zone and the swell is big enough, you can die. Because, as soon as the one wave comes, you go down, 5-10 feet, you struggle your way up, the next wave's right on you. And it's very, very dangerous. And most people are living their lives in the impact zone. Just kind of ducking and covering, hoping that, the next one won't hit, and the next one's going to hit. So don't be like that. Don't be a victim like that. Don't be powerless like that. You don't have to live a life like that. But arm yourself. You have to arm yourself. You're going to be a renegade, spiritual renegade, and get the armaments for living a good life, happy life, a life that, and a life in which nothing can faze you, really. You see, nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Even the unfortunate things, even the sad things, even the unhappy things. The word sad is related to words that have SAT in them, like satisfy, or sated, or satiated. Sad means full. It means that you're full of emotion. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can be content and sad at the same time, do you think? Yeah, of course. You can be content about sadness. This is what it is now. And I'm content with that. I'm sad now. My best friend died. I'm sad. The idea, my best friend died, I don't care. I'm a high spiritual practitioner, I just don't care. That's not the point. But to be able to embrace both sides of the spectrum. There's no joy without sadness. There's no pleasure without pain. There's no happiness without unhappiness. And to embrace both sides of the spectrum. And to find that middle way of contentment between the two. That says yes, that accepts. It says yes to no matter what life throws at me. You see? Yes. So here's your mantra, okay? Here's the mantra of the night. This one I learned from Jack Kornfield. Some of you know Jack Kornfield, one great Buddhist teacher. This is the mantra of acceptance with whatever life brings. Say, It's like this now. It's like this now. Okay? And it's not, I wish it weren't like this now, or it shouldn't be like this now, or this is like this now and I hope it'll never be like this again. It's like this now. And you got to keep up with that a little bit, because it's like this now changes. You see? It's not like this now forever. It's like this now. It's like this now. It's like this now. And that's yes saying to life. That's acceptance, you see? That's acceptance. And you'll be able to say it's like this now if you have the tools that make it possible to say it's like this now without rejecting it's like this. If you have the tools, if you have the wherewithal. And I gave you a bunch of them just tonight.